Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm back, and I got a friend. I'm going to be joined today by a close friend of mine. You might know him from the YouTube chat here. You might know him from the Discord if you're in there. His name's Ian McGlynn, or I am Ian. Let's introduce the man himself, the mystery. Where are we? Maybe we can do this one. Hey, welcome, Ian.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me.
Happy to have you. Stoked. This is the first time I've actually had somebody on the stream, other than, of course, Megan dropped by the other day, which was amazing, and her and I will definitely do some streams together too. And then now we're doing a whole stream together, Ian and I. Ian lives in the same town as I here in Squamish, and yeah, before the whole situation, we were regularly chilling. We were trying to make a band, actually, and then it all kind of disintegrated.
I'll have to do that again.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hi, Blood, Trouble, Sweetie, Steels, Nick, Kim, Carmela. Hey, the gang. Gang. Hope you're all doing super well. So, yeah. Same town, but you were video conferencing? Yeah, that's right. At some point, we'll be sitting in the same room. Today, we're on the video conference. So, today we're just going to do something. I was working on... So last Thursday, we had a stream where I made a couple of beats just kind of spontaneously, and then I was watching something else. I don't know what it was now. I was listening to something, and suddenly I was like, oh, I want to go try something. And I went to that session and started working on something, and it just ended up completely different in a way than what I had before, but it ended up really cool. So I worked on that a little bit the last couple of days, and we'll listen to that. And then I wanted to kind of talk about sound design today, and maybe we'll just experiment and play around with some distortion. We love distortion.
Oh, yeah. Distortion's the best.
Do you want to say anything, Ian, about like your musical life? What do you do musically? Just so people have some context that you're not just like a random person. You're a random person too, but also you have some musical background.
Sure. I guess I'll try to give a brief little background. I grew up playing classical violin for most of the first years of my life up until I graduated high school. And then I kind of started producing beats for a couple of years, kind of stopped for a few years. And then when I met Max again, he kind of got me back into it. And then ever since then, I've just been loving it, making music as much as I can, really.
And you released an album recently.
Yeah, just back in March, I think it was, under my new name, I am Ian.
Let's just type that in the chat here. I am Ian. If you just type that into Spotify, you can check out his album there. It's awesome. You'll love it. Mm-hmm. Give the man some plays and some follows.
With the EP, thank you.
Nick asks, what brings Ian to the stream? What brings you to the stream, Ian? Why are you here?
I don't know. I think we just kind of want to see what it's like to collaborate on stream. I feel like it has some potential to maybe make things more interesting in certain contexts. You know, we can kind of chat about stuff. It's a little more fluid, not so centered on you, Max. Yeah, not so boring. God, I get sick of looking at you all the time. You know, we just need to bring a little bit of life to it. You know what I mean?
Tell me about it. I know the feeling. Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy to have you here. We're going to get into it here. I'm just reading comments. Remember the challenge with the electric violin samples? That's right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just reading comments off my phone. So whenever I look down, that's what I'm doing.
All right, so let's be about it. I'm going to switch up the view. Okay, So this is the session that we were into last Thursday. If you remember, I had this beat, which now is being time stretched. I think we made it at 100 BPM originally, but then we played it at 80, and it seemed like maybe this is even better. Sounds like this. Hopefully all the sound comes through for you guys. This is some random noises that you can gauge volume with. Came out pretty well at that tempo. I like it. I like it better than the original tempo for sure. It needs a bunch of work, but that's not happening today. That's another day. Maybe never. Today, we're working off the sounds that came from this one. This was the original one that I had last week. Double Trouble says, my name is David, one part of Double Trouble, 973. Been DJing in the Caribbean for the past 16 years, now getting into music production. Completely love Studio One as how I found Max. Wow, that's great, Double. Thanks for being here. You're regularly here. It's wonderful. Stoked to have you here. Steels. Do you guys do psytrance as well? In a certain way. We don't produce psytrance. Yeah. I don't produce psytrance. Maybe you do on the side, Ian. I don't know. You psytrance?
No, but I feel like it would be a really fun genre to try and produce. I've heard some psytrance tracks and I'm like, whoa, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, I have the same feeling. Ian works with me and we do this. Yeah, we have an interesting line of work, let's say musical related work. And we have to work with psytrance tracks pretty often, actually. Just for some things we're creating. And so I get to hear a lot of psytrance. I've heard a lot of psytrance, but never made it. But sometimes I hear a few tracks and I think like, wow, this is it. This is the genre. I mean, I hear a lot, just like in every genre, I hear a bunch of stuff that I think this is garbage, but then I hear a few tracks and I think this is what psytrance needs to be, in my flawed opinion, having heard like 10 psytrance tracks. So maybe we should do that. We should have a psytrance challenge, hey? That'd be a blast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Down tempo, yeah. Down tempo, I would say, is probably the genre I'm most often making. If you want to, like, what is down tempo, man? Like, you could literally put anything into the genre. But what's down tempo to you, Ian? What do you think?
BPM between 90 and 110.
Job's done. Just do anything. It's down tempo, man. Yeah. So here we go. This one's not down tempo. This is one of the beats we made last week. It's kind of heavy, and then on the new beat is even heavier. So I dig it. It needs work, but I spontaneously had an idea the next day or the day after or whatever it was to try out some new sound design and some new techniques, and a new beat came out of that, which is this guy today. So it's using kind of all the same instruments and elements, but arranged differently and even heavier. Yeah, so this is that track now. So I want to know, what is this genre? I listen to this kind of stuff pretty often, actually. I love this kind of music. Been hearing it for years. I just call it beat music, but I don't know what it's actually called. If it has a name. Someone in the chat know, or do you know, Ian, what this is called?
Down tempo.
Down tempo. Probably.
It's just a glitchy fat stuff.
Glitchy fat stuff, yeah. Experimental bass, I mean, that's kind of what it is too. Kim really likes it. Thanks, Kim. I'm glad Megan likes it. I like it too. I've been trying to... I dabble in doing this like heavier stuff in some of my tracks. You guys have probably seen from time to time, but I always ruin the heaviness by putting like chords and fancy, like sophisticated stuff. And I've learned over the years is you just can't. If you want something to be heavy, like heavy, it just needs to be like a riff, like riff based with maybe secondary melodies. But as soon as harmonies come into it, unless it's like a random maybe minor chord stab or something, when there's actual sustained harmonies or chord changes, God forbid, the thing loses the heaviness. You know. You ever made heavy stuff?
It's interesting you say ruining it by adding chords. I like funny thing to say, but yeah, you're right. It's true. Like anything other than like the fifth and the octave and like the ninth, it starts to get kind of soft.
Yeah.
Which I personally like, and I feel like you probably also prefer, but it's not that heavy sound.
Exactly. And so my goal, I think, with a lot of my music anyway, and what I really want to try to do is merge the really pretty but hip, jazzy, funky stuff that I do with this heavy stuff. Because I hear this heavy stuff, some tracks, and I just think, oh my God. And then I just suddenly feel like this is all I have to do for the rest of my life. I just want to make music that sounds like that. But then I go to try to make it and I realize, hey, I'm not that good at it. So it's been a goal for me for a while to try to make some stuff like that. And the other day I just thought, hey, let's just give it a shot with this. So this is the output of that. And through that process, I learned a few things or tried a few new things that we could talk about today, because some pretty interesting techniques. I mean, the guys that make this kind of stuff, like Thomas says, glitch hop, it's kind of glitch hoppy, right? It's not that glitchy, this one, I wouldn't say. It's, if you listen to someone like Mr. Bill or someone that does real glitch hop stuff, it's got this shit's just changing constantly. It's just an endless flow of madness. And this one's a little bit, I don't know, groovy, I guess. Groovy heavy. And
yeah,
these guys have all the tricks. The guys that do this kind of music, especially any kind of music that's got neuro basses in it, this neurotech glitch stuff, or whatever you call that, drum bass. Neuro stuff is all those basses that sound like called neuro basses. That's my perfect impression. And these things, they don't come for free, you know. It's like, that's the thing. You can't just like pull up a preset on Serum or Mai Tai and click a button and it goes unfortunately.
Man, that'd be nice. Just the blow button.
Exactly. Yeah, we should probably do that. Just make a synth with the blow button. So
that's kind of what Portal is in a way. I mean, Portal's not a synth, but you put certain presets on in there and everything just becomes madness.
That's true.
But yeah.
So I was watching some streams from a couple of the guys that work in these genres and learned a few things. So I can talk about a couple of them.
I think the thing with the heavy stuff is you just have to go as crazy as possible. And like when you think you've gotten to a point of being too crazy, go like double it and just get like 100,000 times more crazy than you could ever imagine. And then you're like close to being there.
Exactly. No, honestly, that's what it's like. It's a general philosophy that I use in music creation all the time of like, what is the emotion you're trying to convey, and can you just juice it? Can you just squeeze it even more, heighten the drama, make it like full on? And so with this, I think it's the same, and there's still room to go with this beat. And that's what I was thinking about working on at some point today, is like, how do we do this, but even more, and add more elements to it, and understand like, how do you keep the melody, basically? Because if you add too much stuff, it becomes too busy, and now you've lost the focus of the song and whatever. But it's possible, I think, to add things in the right way, and then you'll get the effect, which we can try looking at. So yeah, Megan's asking on what are the things you did to get that sound again, and Blood says, any tips on controlling distortion with hardstyle bass? Yeah, so let's just check out the bass sound for a bit, because it's pretty interesting the way it works. So what I did to get this bass line is I started with this track, actually. So if I put a loop around here, I just played a few notes. I played a root, a fifth, and like a short note or something. That was the goal, is just to have that. And it's got a bunch of effects on it, but if I take all the effects off, this is what the raw sound is like. Already pretty nice. I could just use it like that. It's kind of satisfying. This is really, really simple. This is all it is. It's literally just a saw wave that has been very slightly bent, and then it has a filter that goes boom, boom. That's it. So you start with a really basic sound, and then you just start twisting it. The first thing that I did here was put OTT on it, and OTT, if you don't know, is like a multiband. It's free. It's a multiband upwards and downwards compressor, which the point being, it basically like evens the playing field of frequencies. It just flattens all the high, mid, and low frequencies, brings up all the details, and just flattens it, basically. So now you can hear everything. So here's the difference. And off. Ooh, it's so satisfying. I just love that sound.
Yeah. I think everyone needs to have this plugin.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason not to.
Put it on everything.
Yeah.
One thing I was experimenting with a lot too, which I don't normally do with OTT, is this time control. So here's the sound when you put it down as fast as it can go. And all the way. Pretty drastic. So I left it at like 600%.
Yeah.
Steels doesn't like OTT.
He doesn't.
Don't like OTT. God damn it.
Maybe elaborate slightly. I just wonder why. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I wonder why too. It's just fun. It's just fun to use.
So wait, what does the time do exactly? Like, are you?
I'm pretty sure
No,
it's just an attack and release parameter tied together. That's my sense. And so when you go really fast, you can hear it biting on every little thing. And then smooth release. Everything is just flattened.
I see. So it's kind of like smooth or like attack choppy.
Yeah, Thomas says, what do you normally do with OTT? Just usually turn the depth dial. All I ever do is depth dial and then these guys balancing. I'm using this like an EQ. That's all. I'm not an advanced OTT user. I just throw it on and pray.
Yeah. I feel like I don't use it very much when I'm just trying to do like mixing, but when I want to do sound design, I always try it on sounds because it makes things, it can bring out sounds that you didn't even realize were like in a sample,
Exactly.
or an instrument.
Exactly. Steele says you don't like how it affects you don't like how it affects the sound. Maybe just haven't used it in too long. Well, we'll see what you think about it today when we get through this bass. Blood's asking, so the more simple sound design, the better. Well, you have a simple starting sound. And then, like, you don't want a complex, you can have a complex, crazy wavetable modulating thing as your starting sound, but to get these basses, I think it works well to start really simple. So I have that bass sound going into OTT, and then that goes into a Simplon, which is just a FabFilter, very simple filter. And RME, hey, welcome. And it is in a bandpass mode. And then I have it moving. So it does this now. So this modulation was just done by hand. I literally just twisted this dial while I was in a touch mode. And then the point here, though, is that I'm not trying to maintain the sub-frequencies in this sound to make it a full bass. I'm going to cut all the sub-frequencies later. I'm just trying to design a tone that sounds awesome. And so I love the sound of bandpass filters on basses. I love the sound of basses that don't have sub in them, basically. I don't know why. It just sounds growly.
Like that's like the same thing with hearing it through a phone, you know?
Yeah, totally. Something so satisfying about it. So we get the motion happening. That's the point. I'm gonna resample this later. Like I'm gonna bounce it out, right, and then use it as audio. So I'm trying to get the thing moving first. So you get the sound, then it's moving, then we add another OTT. Squash it more. In this one, I took all the lows out. Then I have this Pro Q moving, just accentuating. Ow, ow. See what I mean? Then prepare your ears. Sausage fattener comes in.
Wow.
Sausage fattener is like a distortion saturator and a limiter thing all in one. It just smashes, but it's got no way to like control the volume very well. It just, goes crazy.
I think I need that one.
It's very
That's
cool.
exactly what it says.
Exactly. It's got some good vibes in there. Then I have a Serum Effects on this, and it is doing, I'll talk about that in a second. It's just regular compressor. In fact, I ended up just not using this, I guess, the way so it really is just getting compressed. Bill, welcome. Good to see you. So what I did with this thing here is kind of a cool technique. You know when you use a downsample and you get that like digital crunchy shit that goes on? Like if we, how do we do this? Put the mix up, take this out. That sound. Wow.
God.
Makes me feel weird after a while. Anyway, so what I like about this is when you use just a very, very little bit of it, you get this very crispy top end, like that. Off. And on. Right, that bright little stuff at the top. So then we set this into high pass mode with post-processing so that it does the whole thing and then it's being filtered. And we remove everything except that. So I'm only keeping the high bit of the downsampling, and we've mixed that back in just to give a tiny bite to the top, and you can go to taste. Softer, bitier. Then that thing gets compressed. All right, and that's it. Basically, that's how the sound was created. Then I bounced it out to audio and started chopping it up and made that little pattern out of it. But this process was like probably an hour to get the sound, because it's not like I just know what to do. Go through and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to put that on now and that on. It's just going to turn out really good if I just do all these things. The fun is in it being a process, like just experimenting. I feel like that's something that is a big part of your workflow. Like you, so much of your music that I hear has so many intricate little sound design, sounds to me like bounced out audio elements being processed in various ways, which is not something that is in a ton of my music, that's for sure. Is it something that you are into generally?
Just, you mean like doing stuff with samples and putting a bunch of effects on it?
Manipulation of audio stuff.
Yeah, and I've been trying to really get into like doing my own samples and then processing a ton of them, because I used to use just like samples out of Arcade or off of Splice or something, which are fun and are awesome, but there's something to like making your own loops with like what any instrument that you play or whatever you can do with your voice, and then processing to the point where they're like unrecognizable but make something super cool. I like that. I like that process.
That's great. Yeah, I should be more into that. I feel like so much of my life has been spent on the musical side of composing and producing and whatever, like working on chords and melodies and all that stuff, drum patterns. And I've spent as much time on the production side as I need to achieve the sound that I wanted, but never really it was not my focus. These days, though, it feels more like I want to try all that crazy manipulation stuff, processing and creating your own samples and running them into the thing and whatever. That's just not been, I guess, because it's so time consuming a lot of the time. In the past, I've always wanted to just get a beat down, but then, to make that stuff sound cool, like to make the bass, it took me a long time to do.
The nice thing with that is that you already have all the background music theory, composition knowledge. So now that you can start working on more of the sound design stuff, all of that will just integrate so well into that. Because, I mean, that's how you become like the Haywire and, those kind of dudes who can have crazy, fat sounding tracks, but they're also super jazzy, super hip. The combination of those things is where it's at.
Totally. I'm down with it.
I did want to say, though, briefly, while you were still talking about bass, I feel like it's a non-obvious point that when you're designing bass, it's more about like the mid to high end that you're worried about shaping. Whereas I feel like a lot of people would think, oh, you're shaping bass, you should be worried about the low stuff, like the 100 hertz and the sub stuff. But it's really all of that just kind of sounds like mud anyway. So the thing that makes a bass sound unique and interesting is the stuff that's like above it,
Absolutely. And there's a few for me, like still see, I think we're going to, reconnect it. I'm not sure what's up with that, but all right.
Oh.
Did it stop on the phone? I think we're back now.
It's back on. Yeah, okay. It looks like it's back on.
Sorry, guys. Don't know why that happened, but we're back. We're live.
We're back.
Yes. What were we just about to say? You mentioned something?
You have the real Bill Murray in your chat. I just want to say that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Super cool.
The Bill Murray. Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, we were just talking about bass design and how it's like the mid high end that's important. Or maybe you went off on something else.
No, that's right. There's a couple of really key areas for me of bass sound design that all really live in the 200 to 800 area. All the kind of throaty, growly roar sounds, which is like this one. And if you were to look at this again on another Pro Q or something, and look at where all these frequencies are, it's down, to if we start just chopping frequencies out like this. So I'm at 200 right now, and it's starting to negatively affect it. If I bring in a little bit, all this stuff in here, if we remove all of this, that's where the phone gets its information from, the small speakers, right? All this stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, the movement, the modulation in that range is what gives the bass its cool tones.
Exactly. And that's such a enjoyable experience, hunting for the bass tones, just distorting stuff and trying and then pushing it around with an EQ and the OTT, and man, it's just a blast. I really enjoy it.
Thomas makes a good point. The designing the bass in the upper frequencies, it interfering with other instruments.
Well, the question is, what's the role of the bass in your song? If the bass is playing a supporting role, then it doesn't need to be so audible. It just depends on how much of a focus it's going to be. The more of a focus it's going to be, probably the more of these upper tones you want. Like if you have some funky bass line, boom, doom, boom, 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 that kind of stuff, and it was played with a sine wave, you couldn't even tell what you're hearing. You just hear just this blur of nothingness. So yeah, it depends. Is there space? Is there space in the mix for your bass? And do you need? It's amazing the amount of times that I've spent so long designing a bass or another sound or whatever, and been like, this is the sickest thing ever. And then I put the rest of the mix in, and it's gone. It's like you can't even tell. You hear nothing. You hear nothing.
Yeah. Very true.
So,
Very true.
Right, we've got this guy. I bounced it out. So then let's just strip this back a little bit. I'll leave. Okay, so here's the two bass parts together. The bass is separated from the sub. So these two basses go into their own bus, and everything below 130 hertz is being like steeply removed, basically. And then the sub, which sounds just like this, it's got a little bit of harmonics. And so these guys together so one of them is spread wide and one is centered, right? So they're like moving from wide to centered, wide to centered. And then when you put it in with the sub, it now sounds like it's a thing.
Yeah. Sub just adds like the thickness. Like you feel that. That's the part that you feel.
Exactly. Makes it feel big.
Exactly. The other ones are like the character of the bass.
Exactly. So we've got that. JK, welcome JK, is saying, how do you do your stutter effect? You mean that brr, brr, bop, boom stuff? That's literally just tiny little things. That's all it is. Yeah, I chopped up the original bass line, that's right, Blood, and then I took those chops and reorganized them to make this groove. Then once the groove was done, I took the sub and I played it in the same rhythm. But because the rhythm is sluggy, meaning like it's not straight on beat, it's kind of like wonky, you have to come in and actually grab things like here's the beat and here's where it starts. So you have to line up things exactly and make sure that your sub note starts at the same time as your sampled note does and ends at the same time that it does, so that they feel like a unified thing, right? Yeah, I make all the little cuts manually, exactly. With a sound like this, that's the way I do it. With normal writing of bass lines in just a regular track that I'd be producing, I wouldn't be going so in depth with chopping up the audio and trying to work with it. It's more I'm just playing a synth and it's all in MIDI at that point.
Like the nice thing with working with audio though in that way, chopping it up, is it gives you that clean sound, especially if you line up all the transients with each other. If you want that kind of glitchy, super clean processed sound, you have to do it like that, because if you just have it playing like MIDI notes through an instrument, you'll get all this like bleed over, like the reverb and all this kind of stuff. You don't get the nice, like, I don't know, like the little bit of volume cutoff at the end of all those audio clips. They just give it like that. Everything's so precise. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. And so there's a few instances of that as well, not just in the bass here that we'll talk about in a sec. There's a couple things here that are of interest. So we have this thing going with the drums. This is that bass part. So a couple points here. We're trying to, geez, how am I going to say this? Listen to this. There's a kick in between those two notes, right? And that, if without the kick, like if we come in and mute that one kick, I'm gonna mute you too. Okay, we'll get there. Right? Doesn't have the same, if we play it from the start. But if we throw that guy back in there, which I've already forgot which one it was,
This middle two, yeah.
So the kick completes that little bass movement, right? And here too. So we're trying to stagger kicks in between bass hits, basically. So they all have their own space, and the kick and the bass together make a thing. As if like the kick is a big version of, like when you watch real bass players, that's where I get it from. They have those like little tiny ghost notes where they mute the string, but they pluck it hard. That stuff just makes the things groove so hard. And so here, to me, it feels like you can have the short little ones that come in the audio chops, that guy, but then the kick is like a big version of it, and they can work in tandem to make those grooves. Here too.
Yeah, I think that goes back to Thomas's question about the bass interfering with the other elements. It's like that's almost more of a production thing than a mixing thing. Like you would think, oh, you can take out frequencies and then it'll balance well, but mainly you want to have room in the production itself for all the instruments, because that's where it's going to sound super clean and professional.
Yeah, exactly. There's having a good arrangement with good frequency balance and distribution of elements really works. We were talking about a little bit in the Discord about this week's challenge being reggae. And for me, reggae has already great distribution of elements in a lot of reggae beats, in the way that if you take a really simple, just kick alternating with snare, that kind of thing, with the guys on the offbeats, and in between that, they have bass that comes in. Everything's got its own place already in the thing, right? It makes the genre limited in a way that, okay, you know, your drum beat's gonna be like this, basically. You know that you're gonna be playing on offbeat chords. You're gonna be playing offbeat chords the whole time, basically. That's kind of set. But it does mean that when you play within those boundaries, everything just works really well. You know, unless you start to muddy it up with something. But I think the reggae groove is really well constructed overall.
I mean, that's like why genres exist, really. There's people have found certain arrangements that just work really well together, and, you know, do that same thing, make it your own, make it somewhat unique, and then, you know, have a great song.
Exactly. That's where all the fun's at. The little details, as Thomas said. Are those sounds from Studio One? No. Well, they're coming out of Studio One, but they're not produced by stock instruments, if that's what you're asking. These are all third-party toys today. Yeah. So, anyway.
Best toys.
Back to the full beat here. There's a couple things I wanted to get to. Why are we missing drums now? It's kind of interesting to hear without drums, actually.
It's the breakdown.
So, comments here. Yeah. Could you give me a tip for using a stock S1 scope for scoping kick and bass synced to the beat? Is it even possible to sync it? For syncing kick and bass? I don't know what you mean. Syncing it to the beat. You're talking about like the way that Smexoscope lets you view stuff? I was actually going to use Smexoscope today, so that's funny if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if I was going to say, I don't think you've ever seen that. Hey, do I not have it on here anymore? Oh, damn. That's unfortunate. How can we do this? Who makes Smexoscope? Do I really not have it? Doo-doom, doo-doom. Bram Smart Electronics. Anyway, Smexoscope is a really cool plugin. It lets you like visualize waveforms in real time. Yeah, I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. Studio One stock scope. Can this thing do it too? Oh, it can. I've never used this. I didn't even know that it existed.
Whoa, look at that.
This is basically like what Smexoscope is. Can't believe I've never looked at this before.
Huh.
So I wonder if we just do this for a second. Can we like save it somehow? I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Wow. Where's my time constraint? Oh, time. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be actually interesting that you mentioned that, because that's one of the things I want to talk about today, is side chaining. And this technique that I've been seeing these guys use that's actually really cool. So they're trying to like make sure that their kick and snare sounds have full bandwidth, so to speak, in the song for the time that they're playing. So that when that kick is hitting, you're not hearing anything else for the duration of it, like with a side chain, a very extreme side chain. But also, right before the kick starts, everything goes to silence, like a few milliseconds before the kick hits. So the kick's transient is not muddied by what comes before it. It's completely silent for a millisecond, and then the kick transient has the full range of the speaker to work with, basically. So I thought that was a really cool idea, and I haven't actually implemented it here, but I thought we could just try to approximate it. This session is a total mess right now. I actually don't know where everything is. I think this is where my sidechain compressor is. Right now, I have a pretty non-optimal setup for this. I'm using Drum Computer to make all the drums. Drum Computer, I just drool every time I see it. Ugh, it's the best. Anyway, I was making the drums with this, and then I'm just getting the sidechain by taking a filtered version of that so that the kick is here. Right, this is FabFilter Pro C. This is an EQ at the bottom, a filter actually, that you can select what frequencies you want to sidechain from. So I'm selecting the kick there. And so we have very fast attack, fast release, insane ratio, insane amount of gain reduction, 24 dB of gain reduction. And their technique is to use look ahead, basically, so that the compressor starts acting before the transient and cuts everything off early. Let's see if it actually works and if it shows up in scope. If you didn't know this about Studio One, you can pin plugins. So you pin this here, and then where is scope now? Here, let's pin this.
Yeah, super useful.
Yeah. So now, I don't know if we have fine enough resolution. So here's the transient. And let's see if we can bump up to 20, and maybe we can even just take this. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not really doing what I'm wanting here. What's this look like? Yeah.
Looks like after still.
Exactly, looks like after still. So how do you pin? Yeah, you pin with this little guy up here. That's how you pin. So that's a good question. Why is it still after? Now, maybe it's using this, in this case, it's using its look ahead to do it right on the money, to predict it and get it there. I wonder if we can somehow offset that so it comes earlier. I don't know. He was able to do it somehow, but maybe I've just not got it right, or this plugin is not. He wasn't using Pro C.
Yeah, because you also just use do you have LFO tool?
No, I don't actually. So he
Yeah, I
was
see a lot of guys use that for sidechain.
Yeah, he was using a similar tool, MIDI controlled tool. And then he was also using a compressor in conjunction with it. And I thought, oh, maybe I can just use a compressor and achieve the same thing. But I guess not. So that's something I need to look into still. So does this make any difference? And if we change this time factor, sorry about this, guys, hearing this kick over and over again.
Sick.
Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Kickstart from Nicky Romero, right. That's not the one he was using, but similar. I also have maybe something that's not getting filtered, which is this noise. Where's this noise going? No, it is. Yeah. All right, well, that's something I got to look and do some more. But anyway, cool idea. I don't know how to implement it yet, but I really like the idea of everything coming to silence. And he was coming up with an automated way to do it like this, basically. Anyway, on to the next topic was that this sidechain, which is still super intense. Like if you let your release out, usually I'm working with that sound more, where it's like a long, everything fades, kind of thing. But with this idea, you're just doing it for the length of the kick, basically. Just making room for the kick. And he has one on the snare too. I've actually got one on the snare here. Do I have one on the snare? Maybe I didn't get to it yet. As well. So the snare and the kick have their own space fully carved out every time they hit. And then, as we'll see in just a second, it allows you to get much louder, much more clean and powerful mixes. So what they do on top of this is they do this bus mastering stuff. And I've never worked this way before, but I think it's actually a really good idea, where all your subgroups, all your sub buses will be limited in and of themselves. So individual instruments get limited. Like if we look at this mix right now, I've got this main bass. Wow, all my tracks are way out of order for some reason. God damn. Anyway, this main bass, it's got a Pro L. Main topper's got a Pro L. And oh yeah, that's the one. So this guy's being limited hard. Blood, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So you can see it's working on the transients really hard, flattening them. Now watch this. If we look at the levels right here. If I turn off this thing, see how high that peak goes there? It's crazy. That's going to eat all your headroom in your limiter, right, on the end of your mastering chain. If you're trying to get the thing loud and that's peaking like that, it's going to make you think, oh my God, I'm at plus, minus 6 dB. I can't go any further. So what they do is they chop them off on every individual track. So not just the transients, but as we'll see in a second, you can also squash it. So pushing this top into the limiter really hard. The sub is also being pushed into a limiter. So it's flat, basically. The drums are also being pushed into a limiter of their own. Here's the sound with and without. So the only difference is that when it's on, things feel tighter. There's less difference between loud. It's just like a compressor, of course. But now, again, if you watch the readout here, with it off, the level meter. Now, I've also boosted this by 4.5 dB, but if I take it down and leave it on, sounds roughly the same volume with it on or off. Except when it's on, oh yeah, I did this the wrong way, that's right. So if I need to do, there's a trick with Pro L, if you hold Alt, I don't know if you know, it can keep the volume, it scales the volume output with the thing at the same time. If anyone has Pro L, it's a cool thing to know. So it goes like this. I should probably actually Command Z my way out of here because I think I messed that up. So the point being that we're limiting on buses. So like the drum bus is getting its own limiter. Each bass sound is getting its own limiter. Then the basses are fed together and they get limited together. All the melodic elements get limited together. So before anything even hits the master channel, all the peaks and stray crazy shit is all dealt with already. So when they come together, it's only the cumulative effect of things. And so then, like I said, of course, the most powerful parts of the mix are the sub and the kick and the snare. So when they're doing this side chaining stuff where they're completely ducking everything for the duration of the kick to give it its own space and the snare, you don't get the buildup of those frequencies, right? You know what I mean? So then they can push it into the limiter, the final limiter, and they have like a bazillion dB of headroom, and they can just get the thing so huge and loud. Not that I want to go to that extreme, but I like the idea. I think it's pretty cool.
I think you do want to go to that extreme.
You might be right.
But no, yeah, I have limiters on my instrument and drum bus built into my template. I'm always mixing into limiters now because I just find it's so useful in dealing with all those peaks and stuff.
Totally. Yeah, it seems like a great way to go. So especially with this bass stuff, with the bass heavy music, limiting everything, limiting the sub, limiting the bass, lets you control everything so strongly before it even hits, any kind of bus, meta bus. It itself's limited and the bus is limited. It's crazy. They just have these stacks and stacks of limiters. I've never done it that way. So bus mastering, that's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Kim has a good question on manual ducking versus side chaining.
Manual ducking, as in automation. I've never done it that way myself.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably awesome for the sound design purpose. You can get really into the details, but also it just sounds like a pain in the butt. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah. I've been meaning to make a side chaining video for Studio One for a long time, but haven't gotten there yet. Maybe I should do it now, though, now that we got this new information. But side chaining, man, changes your life. Seriously.
Not just for this, I feel like a lot of people get stuck on the side chaining for kick drums and like getting stuff out of the way of the kick, but you can use it for anything. It's awesome on vocals. One really cool side chain tip, if you put a side chain on a delay for vocals, so when the person is singing, the delay isn't like causing buildup and making it sound muddy. It's just their voice. And then as soon as the voice goes away, the delay comes back up. It's like super nice.
Exactly. So I'm using a similar thing in here actually for the reverb that's on these upper hits. They have a reverb that maybe is not getting soloed right now when I solo this. It's a subtle one.
Yeah.
There you go. And that reverb is being sidechained by the bass. So every time the bass comes in, the reverb of the high element is getting ducked, and then it comes back in to fill the space afterwards. You know what you could probably do? Let's try this. You could probably put OTT on the reverb.
And then it's just like a wall, like a more noise, basically just
exactly
back in.
Exactly. Let's try it. It would need to be before the compressor.
Ooh. Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just like another layer.
And then you need to automate the volume of the reverb so that when it's supposed to be out, it is. Like for instance here, it'll be fully out. there too. And maybe even like fade it. This actually needs to stay out until here. Yeah.
Super cool.
Very cool.
It's a good example of using reverb as like an instrument and not just a mixing tool.
Exactly. I think in a lot of this kind of music especially, there's a lot of tricks that need to be used to like fill space and create energy and hype throughout the track. Hype, check this out.
Hype?
Ooh. I can't, where's my camera? Can you read it?
Does it say hype, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
I can sort of read it.
Hype.
Oh, there it is.
Amit
Was that
sent
custom?
this to me. Yeah.
Oh, Amit?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so stoked on it.
That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Amit, if you see this.
wow. She make that?
She had it made.
Wow.
Yeah.
Merch coming soon.
Get your hype bottles. So then the only last things I wanted to talk about here before I started onto some sound design was Blood says, so did you put OTT on a verb bus or you put it on the verb after the processing chain? I put it on the bus where the verb is, and then the side chain comes after that. So the verb is getting squashed, then that whole squashed verb is getting side chained by the bass sounds. Then I've got three basses going in here. There's this little guy. Beep, beep, beep. And this was actually from this. That guy got repurposed. Then a bounced out version of the main bass. That's been stereoized and phaserized and so on. Prashun, hey, welcome. And then the second time, we have these 808s. Ugh.
So cool.
So what it still needs though is a bunch of like background, interesting, subtle atmospheric stuff. To me, it feels just not quite there yet. Like the groove is there, but the whole world that it's in is not there. And that will have to come in time. But I wanted to get into like making some crazy sounds. And so you had the idea. Yep, go ahead.
Maybe you're gonna mention this. I think it might be cool to just like bounce that section into audio and then try to put that into arcade and see if it can chop it up into something.
That's it. We got to do that. Thomas says, popular technique in dub reggae is to route the output of an effects channel down, ascend, and back into the effects channel itself and create a delay feedback loop. Ah, okay. Yeah, I think that Studio One automatically blocks feedback loops. As soon as you loop outputs into inputs, it just mutes the thing. I don't know if there's any way around that. There's definitely, I think I even have a delay that are built to do that. Like the FabFilter delay. If you look at the FabFilter delay, I'm just going to put on a random channel right now, but favorites. It was a Timeless 3 just came out. Ooh, I got to get that. Anyway, this thing has a feedback section here where the delay thing is going to feedback on itself like a delay, but this is cross feedback and normal feedback for left and right channels. And I bet you if you come in here, they have some like straight up, here's a dub section. Many dub presets, and they're probably all built that way with like extreme feedback settings to go back on themselves. Put it on the sub, man. Ooh.
That's hip. Wow.
All right. Steele says, when you can answer, do you come to voice chat on your Discord? Do you do live sessions too? I do come to voice chat on the Discord. I haven't recently, like in the past, I don't know, week or something like that, but absolutely. Maybe very soon. I'd like to get the voice chat going more active. We usually have videos on there and we hang out and chat and whatever, and I can't be there all the time, of course, but I'd like to have some kind of maybe even schedule that the community knows, okay, 7 o'clock on this day is open hours for the voice chat and everybody can just hang out and talk. Like that would be kind of cool, because I think right now maybe it's a bit weird to just think, I'm just going to go hang out there and hopefully someone shows up.
Yeah, having some set times would be sweet.
Yeah, we'll get that going. Okay, so your suggestion is we're going to bounce this whole thing, mix it down, in fact.
Either maybe one version with drums and one version without. I don't know which would be cooler, but
it's a good idea.
Might be cool.
All right, so we're going to mix down this whole guy. Wow. All right, so now let's see, this is going to main, but wouldn't it have already the processing from main on it? Oh, main doesn't have any processing. The reverb didn't get bounced with it.
Oh, we need the reverb in there.
Yeah, so how'd that happen? Oh, because the reverb is not going to the same bus, I bet you. So verb 1 needs to be going to this. Ooh, chill out.
Oh my god. Woo.
Stranger, hey, yo, E-Nice, welcome. 5 a.m. grinding, oh my god. Okay, so let's grab these guys again. I don't know why I have this random track way up here, but production.
It might even be easier just to do mix down a loop, and then because I think it has to be a separate file anyway to put into Arcade. I'm not
you
sure.
mean like straight up bounce it out?
Straight up bounce it out into a WAV file.
This is doing that.
Right.
If we just go and show this in the pool, can we just?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, can it do that? Yeah, it must, right? Audio. Is that where it would be? Audio. Select in pool. All right. And then now we need an arcade. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Just waiting for us. This is going to go to, I don't even know where to send this thing to. Inspo1, why not? So how do we do this? How do we get this kit that we can make ourselves?
Go to the little person icon, your stuff, and then your samples, throw your sample in there.
Okay, so will it let me pull it straight out of here? No. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking. It has to be in a folder.
Right, so we go show in Explorer. I can just grab this, badoop, and then here, what do I do here? Oh, I have to do, I can just straight drag it in.
Yeah, drag it from there.
Got it. What's this thing called? I forget now.
You gotta name your stuff, Max.
Mix down 5. All right, perfect. Mix down 5. All right.
Nice.
All right. Generate kit.
Generate it. This might be awful, but I hope it'll be cool.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so you get a bunch of effects presets to choose from, and also different slicing methods.
Yo. Okay, well, maybe we should get the delay off of here first.
Yeah.
Maybe the reverb too. Okay, so now what do
You
I
should
do?
try the stretched or the shifted. Those are usually pretty cool. Down at
What?
the sample
Oh,
slicing
okay.
method,
Cool.
it'll slice it differently.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Ah! Okay, let's just bounce that guy out real quick. Let's pull this guy over here.
Kim spent too much time playing like that in arcade.
Yeah, seriously.
It's awesome.
Oh my god. So now we're just gonna give it a quick bounce. All right, and then we'll continue on our merry way here.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
It's actually pretty sick. We need that guy. All right, you gotta be my friend. Mute you for now. Give it a bounce. Is it not like working properly? Oh, there we go. Ooh,
Yeah.
gosh.
You should play with that filter sweep as well. That's
okay.
usually pretty cool.
This thing is crazy. Look at all these things they've got for you to work with.
Yeah. Like if you just keep it all the way up, I think it will do something.
Oh, I see. Slim the Kid Beats. Welcome.
True.
Yo, you can get some really cool samples out of this. What you really need to do is just like set this to record continuously and then just play with it and not have to bounce stuff out. Yeah, realistic farts with super crazy glitches.
Oh yeah, you should just set up a audio track that inputs to, and then you could do that.
Exactly. Oh my god. So if I push save and play, does this all go away and I can't like select this stuff anymore?
Yeah, you can't change it anymore. So I would play with it first and see like which presets or what effects you like the most. Also try shifted as well, because that usually has some crazy sounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just set up this audio track. So if we go, I think I have some audio tracks laying around.
Experimental bass for sure.
Yeah. So
realistic farts. I like that. That's the genre.
How do I just send straight to this audio track? I've done this before, but I can't even remember now. Do I have to create a new output and then set it as the input? That's probably it.
I think so.
Can I just
Can't you just go to the input of that new audio track, like where it's getting input from?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tracks.
Oh no.
Oh, you don't have an instruments folder for some reason. Usually I can just add instruments into there.
Oh really?
Why can you not do that?
That's weird.
What if you go from there? Yeah. That's very strange. Oh, maybe because all your instruments are already outputting to something. Like if you change the output of that arcade to like nothing, or well, I guess you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Can I send it to no? Well, what if I do it like this? Someone in the chat want to like work this out for me, please? If we send this, No, that's not going to work either. How did I do this before? It's like some ridiculously easy way to make this happen that I'm just not getting to right now.
Yeah, usually it's pretty simple.
Let's switch up this mode. Okay, Blood, good to have you here. Hope you have a great sleep. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, how do we do this?
It's so weird that it's not working for you. I literally, when I look on inputs, instruments comes up.
It's because of this. It's a mono channel. Boom.
Oh, okay.
Boom. So this is going to be arcade. So now if I go like this, sick. All right.
Wow, wow, wow.
Okay, so now we can just play through and record.
Wow.
What's Chop do?
I feel like Chopped is usually pretty boring, but give it a try.
Oh, it's just like bits of it.
It's just bits of the normal one.
It's getting glitchy, yeah. Big time. So can I like change this stuff to get...
Yeah, try different effects. Hype. Oh, dude. I mean, there's
It's the hype button.
your effect.
This is insane. You just do this for an hour and then like make 10 songs. All right, it's enough for now. We only need one song. If only DJ Dupaloo saw it. Do we need to pay a subscription to use our samples with Arcade? I assume so. I think that if you don't have the subscription, I assume all you can do is play back the stuff you already had, right?
I think what they mean is like, can you do what we're doing without the subscription? Like, can you use your own?
Because when you have Arcade, if you have had Arcade and then you stop having it, you can still use it with the stuff you've already done with it, right? It doesn't stop working.
Yeah.
But I don't imagine you can use your own samples with it at that point.
Maybe. I don't know
though.
I mean,
oh my God.
It's possible.
Okay, so this needs to go away. Ugh, what am I hearing right now? Oh, this. No. What are we hearing still? Oh, this got unmuted. Okay, so then I think what we need, let's just bring this down so it's easier to understand. Yeah. TJ Dubin yeah, bro. Dude's around here somewhere. So if we duplicate this, now we're going to use as secondary fills this new stuff. So yeah, there we go.
Let's give it a run through. It'll probably sound good as it is.
Just as is, yeah.
Nice.
So we had some cool stuff just even in here. Maybe like this one. Like that in middle part right there. It's got something. Right? And then if we bring you up and use you as a fill in the second half, maybe like, where would it need to be? Here. It's pretty cool. Can we split this in half and shift this guy up 12? Kind of ruins it. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be cool if you could pitch shift it up as it goes through the sample. Like, do you have a pitch shifter?
Yeah.
That plugin?
I got pitch
Or I guess
wheel.
you got pitch wheel.
I got pitch wheel.
What? You know.
If it's still operational. Look at this thing.
Ooh.
This thing's got an amazing pitch shifting algorithm.
Okay.
So we just got to set it to be range of 24 maybe.
Yeah.
That was the inertia. Oh, the gravity needs to be full. Inertia none. Something like that. Doesn't sound amazing, honestly. Like what if we do this? Oh my god. And then let's just do this. Come on, mousey. Here we go. Like this, and then maybe. Kind of decent. Maybe slide it in. Yeah. Could even do something like this, maybe.
Cool. That's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, so that transition's done. And then if we come grab this guy, oops, and then throw him up here. Name these tracks later. Okay. Then what happens if we just like somehow like double it like that, like call and response sort of ba boo boo ba boo boo. Something. We can do this. If we actually make these to be triplets. Yeah. What am I thinking? I guess 6 templates. So if these were 30-second trips,
Well,
is that the thing? No. It's kind of cool actually though. It's all right. I don't know. What else do we have in our bag of tricks down here? It's my build up. Kind of like this guy. Whoa. Like, can we just put you? And then right here, right here, mute the bass for a sec. Maybe not.
Oh, if it was like on beat, it'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Totally. Maybe let's try it. Cool, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Is this too late or something? And just chop it right here. It's kind of interesting sound. Can we make it better?
Or just like loop one little part of it one after the other so that it has the rhythm that you want.
Yeah, could try that. So if we go back to 16, get the swang. Wah, 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 wah. Like, is this a wah? Nah. Let's try it like this again. What if you put OTT on this? Hey, rotor.
Whoa.
Not quite.
It's not OTT.
No.
Get that out of here.
Kind of weird. Nope. You're cut. It's pretty cool.
Maybe you need to run some of this through Portal.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of cool. Ugh.
Cool.
I like this little.
Those are the realistic farts in there.
Exactly. Let's take this little guy up here. Strategically place. Oh, it's kind of cool, actually. Might work. Not quite, but
well, this is the process.
This is the process, exactly. Got to make
You
it
record hours of crazy sounds, and then you pick through them for another like couple of weeks.
It's getting somewhere. Then if this let its reverb out. Then if we OTT it. Then if we animate it.
Animate. Ooh.
Put it on the super wide.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, Barbadell, welcome. Stranger says, at this point, everything and nothing can fit in this. True. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What else can we do to like make it even more?
Maybe running the drums through, like just the drums through like a heavy distortion or some kind of crazy thing to give some cool like perk effects you can add in there.
That's true. That's totally absolutely true.
Like thermal and portal.
The thermal
Or
detonator.
if you have some other crazy programs that I don't know about.
I may. So drums. It's kind of cool just like that for a second. And then if we automate this thing, touch. Kind of like that little quacker. So then just for that moment.
Yeah.
And then
Heavy.
probably need a noise on there as well. I have this noise file here that I'm using as a kind of, sounds like this. Whatever. But now we'll use it like this. And maybe like put it where the kick hits. Yeah. And turn it up. Yeah. And can we like glitch this kick out by doing this or something? Oh, this doesn't work the same. Nope. Kimbo dope. Cool.
I feel like you need some of your famous vocals. Like heavy processed vocals.
Maybe you're right. Oh, that kick is just massive.
I know, it's so fat.
Yeah,
It's a perfect way to lead into like a new section, I feel
exactly.
like.
I think so too. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I wonder if we can take the same sound design principle and use a recording of a voice, like a low bass note I can sing, and then make it into a bass sound. So if we just take this audio, doop-a-doop, doop. Maybe I should sing on pitch. Where my pitch is at. What key am I in? Where my pitch is at, oh my god. I'm in E.
We get an F in the chat for that, please.
Do, do. So. Do. Just distorts the mic like crazy. Let's get one of those.
Great.
The low one's hard.
Thank you, Stranger and Kim.
Yo, that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
All right.
The clean.
Yeah, so let's take the clean one, put it through the ringer. So first up is our old pal. Second up, Sadie.
I
Actually,
think you need a grittier distortion than that. Like
Yeah.
The worst one you can find.
all right, I was gonna say let's try to use let's use Devil Lock.
What the heck is Devil Lock?
It's a Sound Toys plugin. It's the only Sound Toys plugin I like very much, honestly. So let's just do this first. Let's get it a bit. A bit like this first. Then let's do another OTT. Can we octave this down? An octave. Maybe we should use pitch wheel for that. Let's just use all the toys all the time.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, so now we're gonna have to tame this like crazy. So we need our EQ involved. Look at this guy. Why don't we, how do we do that? Like this, you ever seen these? Where you can get these like straight up just squares.
Whoa. I don't think I have EQs that are that fancy. Can't handle this. The mouth bass.
don't like any of these.
It's so dirty. It's like the crustiest face sound you can ask for.
It totally is. So then let's put Simplon on it. Stocky Q gang.
Yeah.
So let's do the band pass. Let's put a
Chorus.
Why is it not stereo? What's happening to it?
Or do you want a mono track?
Oh yeah.
Barbecue 2 is actually pretty nice to use. I think it's a good one.
The stock one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
For just easy, simple things, nothing fancy, it's a good option.
So much noise in the back of it. It's kind
of cool.
It is kind of cool. Okay, so now let's do this. So right about there, it sounds like, well, let's do this first. Let's mix down this. Then starting from like there, or maybe even here. Let's send this to a new sample 1. How many audio files can we create in one session? Let's see.
Not enough.
Where's my sample 1 at? Oh, audio. So now I gotta tell it it's an E. Oh, sorry.
Got a lot of modulation going on in there.
Yeah. Victor, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like super lame. I'm not a big fan of it, or a small fan.
Oh my god.
that was the other one that I made.
Yeah.
It's already good as it is, though, right? Like we could just OTT that.
Oh, it's already got distortion built in.
And pitch wavering.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know that this voice thing is working out, so let's just listen to this one more time and see what we need.
Like, I was thinking with the voice, like more kind of actual words, like in the speaking tone, singing range, but that are like, I don't know, reversed or just clipped, chopped up in a very rhythmic kind of way. Could be cool.
It will be cool. Let's do that. Give me a word.
I mean, hype is a good one, but maybe we should be more original.
Yeah, that might be good. What is this track? Let's get some words in the chat, please. Can we just play the track and tell me the words that come to you? Coconut.
Oh, that's a sexy one.
That's it. Brob.
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 Megan.
Brob.
No.
Brob. Chad. Brob. Could do one of those. That's probably gonna like bust the mic, right? Or you're clipping it like crazy. Maybe that's too much like a gunshot. Brob. Can get one of those. Brob. Brob. How about that? Brob. Sick. Okay, now
Maybe
let's
a nice high pitch like coconut.
Coconut. Coconut.
Well, that actually sounded kind of like a chick. Oh my goodness.
Coconut.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This is going in a great direction now, I think. The Aussie accent again, yeah. Blob. Bye, baby, bye, baby.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's work with what we got first. Now, where can we insert one of these guys? That's what she said waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So like right there, there's a potential for
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can do this. So much fun out on the boat, yeah. So much fun out on the boat. Anybody good neighbor stuff back in the day? Okay. Yep. So let's get this to be, what if we put OTT on this? Let's cut it real tight to the thing. Let's EQ it before to remove. Let's put the reverb on it. Oh, the reverb gets muted. Let's stereoize it.
And maybe pitch it a little bit just to be even more girly.
That's true. It's probably a good idea. Why does this not have any presets for me? That's interesting.
What the heck?
Thanks, Kim. Glad you like it.
Still on a mono track, isn't it?
What's that?
You're trying to make it stereo, right?
Yeah. I'm
It
not
should be on a stereo track. It's still mono.
Oh. That's why the presets weren't there.
There we go.
It's funny that it sounds like a guy, says Megan. It's true. True.
It's true.
Could get it low.
Uh-huh.
That's actually pretty cool.
All right.
Let's leave that for a second, and we'll come back to it with. That's pretty good. We can use that. What was this?
Coconut.
Oh, that's so good.
Coconut.
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 shit's pretty heavy though. I might need to leave that alone. Let's put it. Okay. So what if we get rid of the boom boom this time around? Cocoa.
Yeah, maybe mess with the transients so that they sit right on beat.
Totally. Let's try.
You know, you can do that audio bending stuff in there.
Oh yeah, totally. Just a sec. What about this?
We'll change it to the tape. Maybe the tape version would sound cool with this.
Oh,
Just
sure.
stretched out.
Yeah. I'm on the same track as the other one, right? So I need to duplicate this. Pull you down. Oh, we need to actually duplicate complete. Pull you down. Oh.
Oh,
Barbadell says maybe duplicate the first syllable a few times, like coconut. Yeah, we got it. Maybe more.
coconut.
Can you
Yeah,
explain
maybe like
how
4.
to change the grid quantize? When do you change it and for what? I notice there's swing now. Yeah, you just change it whenever you need different resolution. You try to work with the largest resolution you can. Usually you can leave it on 16s in the adaptive mode and it works decently, but 8s if you need it. Otherwise, yeah, this track is swung, so I'm trying to have some of that. It's actually pretty dope. Oh my goodness. So this reverb timings are a bit messed up. Let's see. This stuff needs to be like here, maybe? No, it needs to be like here. No, it doesn't. Let's figure this out. So it goes cow to work. So this needs to be on its own more, right? Like what happened? There's something that's overlapping. Is there a kick here? No?
There's a bass. There's a bass hit. Right?
Oh, there's a bass hit. You're right. Yeah. Maybe we need to get rid of the hi-hat. I can still hear the... Oh, and the reverb needs to stop. Oh, there's so many things to take care of. Who's the other guy? The other guy is I Am Ian. I should put your name on there, hey? I should have done that from the start. Next time.
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you even? Why are you here?
What? How did I get on here?
Oh my god, I love that ending.
Blah blah.
So let's just do a quick duping of the drums. And then
Quick duping.
Quick duping. I wanted just to try something quickly. Clear de lune. That's right.
Oh, indeed.
Like that. Get the kick. Oops. Boom, cut. Like this. So brown, brown. Brown paper room. Ugh. All right.
Wow.
Boom, boom, gong, doo, doo. Something like that. That's for another time.
It's really something.
Yeah. Now, can we fit in this guy? Maybe not yet. The bra blah.
Blah, blah.
It's actually kind of cool. Kind of works with it. Wish it wasn't so noisy.
What if you dropped it down an octave?
Oh, yeah. Isn't it already? Oh, no, I guess it's not. Because this,
Doesn't sound like.
I was just, okay, let's try this. So I go minus 12. Rob it. What?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what the?
Oh man.
It's kind of sick, but, whoa.
Maybe not quite an octave.
Yeah.
7, 5 or 7 maybe.
But then it needs to be on pitch, right? Because I sung a. Fifth and blah 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 blah.
Pretty dope.
It's pretty dope, man. Demon Warthog. Yeah.
Demon Warthog.
That's insane. If we put the sub in with it, would it just like make it sound like a bass?
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, the bass coming in here kind of makes it better. Maybe. That is so ridiculous.
Maybe like a different bass layered with it, but not the sub necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah. It's the vendor in Cuphead. Hey, that's totally true. Anyone who plays Cuphead? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to just be like cleaner and cooler in and of itself.
Yeah. Just some other processing on it.
Yeah. So if we just, What if we just like slam it into a limiter? Is this a mono track still? No. Oh, L1. Ah! I'm allergic. Oh my god, it's insane. What if we put a bit crusher? Or no, let's put serum effects like I did with the other one, and we can get some like top end put back into it with the down sample. Yeah. Then another OTT. Maybe too much.
Maybe like a filter in there at some point, like a
Going brow.
going well.
Yeah. Yep.
Simplon.
This guy's just easy to use. Quick and easy. Oh my god. What about if it's a band pass? Maybe not. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
Kind of hard. It takes a lot of the
Edge off
frequencies
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll probably call it quits here shortly. Let's just listen to what we got. Oh man, kind of.
Oh man. There's definitely something in there though. Like it could be better, but I thought they would sound lamer than they do. Like,
I thought so too.
They're cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Even the coconut. Like I'm usually not into that kind of thing, but it kind of works.
Could definitely be worked on, but I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Do I need like just a big hit right off the start to make this sound fatter? That warthog sound is super intense. Yeah. I'm just gonna mute the warthog for now. That's kind of cool.
That's the best part.
Yeah. Verb it.
Sick.
It has verb baked into it, and then it like cuts, which is kind of cool. But if we had a verb on it as well, I'm not sure if it would give us a good result. Am I on the wrong track? Yeah. Coconut. All right. Oh, the vendor. Yeah. You mean the pig? Pig boy.
Warthog vendor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fully wet. Yeah, we need to take out those other bass hits, but welcome. Like if we muted this. It might be just too intense for what I'm looking for, like, you know. It's really,
Ever.
really intense. But we'll keep it for now. I'll sleep on it. Okay. That was fun. Some pretty mad sounds. Here's that first beat again. Maybe these can be merged somehow, like this one, and then like a breakdown.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Wow.
This can definitely be merged. Wow, look at me. I'm full on red.
Yeah.
Red zone
You're like
now.
Mars.
It's actually kind of cool. I dig it.
Yeah. It is cool.
It's very different though. It's like the dark side and the light side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the and you're the coconut.
Wow. All right. Well, that was sick. Thanks, Ian, for being here. I appreciate it. It was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We'll have to do some more soon. Thanks, guys, for being here. Everybody was hanging out with us. was a chill stream. It was fun. Low key kind of slaps. Thanks, Goopy. Appreciate it. I'm gonna be back on Sunday for this week's weekly challenge, which is gonna be reggae. Ooh, I'm so stoked. Yeah, maybe I won't go so hip-hoppy. We'll see. I'm stoked to hear what you guys do for that. And if you have not, please vote for last week. Last week we had hilarious stuff happen on that thing. And there's so few votes right now. People need to be voting for those tracks. You got to hear the tracks. Go to the Discord and just check out the challenge info channel from last week's challenge on hold music. It was sick. So much good stuff in there.
It was awesome.
Yeah, yours was hilarious.
I'm always impressed by people's submissions. It's crazy.
It was a particularly good one last time. We had just so many great ideas. Wow. Yeah. Well, until then, I'll see you guys in the Discord. Ian will be back at some point. Check out his album. Search Spotify for I Am Ian. It's called Claire de Lune, Loon. Yep. Hope you guys have
Check it out.
great rest of your day. Appreciate you being here with us. It was fun. I know that was probably like one of the most annoying streams that I've done in terms of like actual sounds that are coming out of your speakers. But no, Ian disagrees. He likes them. All right.
It's great.
All right. Yeah. So we'll be back on Sunday. I'll see you guys then. Have a good few days and talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.